Hi, I'm Brielle Newman, and today we are going to look at a linear equation. The one behind me has a few different ways that it could be done, but I'm going to show you how it can be done using only one variable. It could be set up in a different way to use two variables, but today I will show you using just one variable. And this example is also going to cover the Common Core standards that teachers need to address. And that is going to be an 8th grade Expressions and Equations Standard 7B. And that equation is solve linear equations with rational number coefficients, including equations whose solutions require expanding expressions using the distributive property and collecting like terms. So as we go through this example, we will actually see those different components come out throughout it. And so I hope that this is helpful and great idea of how to teach linear equations using only one variable. So let's go ahead and start by reading the word problem I have behind me. It says, Bozeman Elementary has 380 oranges to distribute among 85 students, so that each boy gets 4 oranges and each girl gets 5 oranges. How many of the students are boys and how many are girls? So for this, we need to determine how many boys and how many girls there are of these 85 students. So we want to start out by trying to create a variable that's going to represent either our boys or our girls, since we're only going to be using one. So let's go ahead and represent the girls using an X. And we're going to mark these off to the side so that we can remember what we've used and what they stand for. So X equals the number of girls that we will have. And now that we have that marked, what we still need to do is we still need to account for the boys, but we don't want to use another variable to represent them. So rather than using Y or another letter, let's go ahead and we know that we have 85 students. So if we have 85 students and we subtract the number of girls, that should leave us with the number of boys that are going to be within this school. So that is how we can set up our next thing to show the number of boys. It's going to be 85 minus X, because that's the number of girls, and that will give us the total number of boys. So let's make sure to write that down. And that way we'll remember exactly what everything stands for. Alright, and now that we have those two things straight, now it's time to create our equation to solve this problem. So let's take another look at our word problem and figure out what it is that we need to be aware of to set up an equation. So we know that it says the boys and the girls are getting different numbers of oranges. It's not the same for all boys and all girls. So we know that each of the boys are going to get 4 oranges, and the girls are going to get 5 oranges. So those are two important numbers that we need for within our variable. And we know that we have these already set, and this should equal their total number of students. So let's begin by we know that the girls get 5 oranges each. So if we do 5 times whatever a number of girls is, that should cover the number of oranges within our girls. So we have 5x, because each girl gets 5 oranges, and we need to add to the 4 oranges that each boy is going to get. So we'll put 4, and then we already decided that our number of boys is represented as 85 minus x. So that's what we're going to put in this area here. So 4 times 85 minus x. And so now we have our boys and girls represented within this equation, but now we need to equal it to our 38 oranges that we have total. So just put that on the end and our equation is complete. Now all we need to do is go ahead and work through this problem and solve, and it should come out with what our x equals and give us the number of girls that we have. So let's go ahead and get this started. We're going to start just by taking this 5 and bringing it down. And then we need to look at this. With here, this is where our distributive property comes in, and we need to distribute our 4 to our 85 as well as to the x, so it's going to go to both of these and be distributed out among those two. So if we take 4 times 85, that is going to equal 340. So we're going to add 340 down here. And that's our first one, but we need to remember to also do 4 times negative x. And so that's going to be negative 4x. So we'll add that onto here. And then the number of oranges that we have has not changed. We have done nothing to that. So we'll also just drag the 380 down. Alright, and now we need to look at this, and we have some like terms that are on the same side of our equation. So 5x and negative 4x are our two like terms here, so we want to combine those into one thing. So 5x minus 4x is going to leave us with just 1x, so we can represent that with just an x. We don't need to put the 1 in front of it. And then we're just going to take it one step at a time, so we're going to bring down the rest of the components within our variables. So that's going to be x plus 340, and that's still going to equal 380. Nothing has changed there. Alright, so here we're almost done, but we haven't quite gotten x by itself, so we're going to keep going. And we can just take the 340, subtract that from both sides of our equations, and that will get x by itself, as well as giving us the answer for what x represents. So we're going to subtract 340, making sure to do it from both sides. So that just leaves us with x on this side, so we're going to take that down, and that is going to equal 240 is what we get when we subtract 340 from 380. So that shows us x equals 40. And if we look over here, we can remember that we said x shows us the total number of girls that we have. So we now know we have 40 girls. The thing is we're not quite done yet. We want to find out how many girls as well as how many boys there are, so we need to keep going. And at the very beginning, we had decided that to find the number of boys that we have, we just need to subtract our total students, which is 85, from x, which is our number of girls. So now we have 85 minus x, which we decided is 40, and this should give us the number of boys that we have. So, and then we find out that there are 45 boys. So we can go ahead and put that here with our answer. And we have determined that we have 40 girls and 40 boys. And this was just a simple way with only one variable. We didn't have to bring another one in to show how to get it, work through a problem with a word problem, and come out with a simple answer of 40 girls and 45 boys. And that is how you solve linear equations using one variable.